Good afternoon. My name is Olivia, and I am an undergraduate student in Principles of Ecology at Northern Michigan University in the Department of Biology. For my research project this semester, I investigated variation in the relative abundance among coyotes, eastern cottontails, and gray squirrels with a subset of Snapshot USA data so that I could learn more about how different wildlife species interact with one another across the Midwestern portion of the United States. I selected these species for my project because coyotes are often a keystone species and have a large impact on trophic dynamics in their ecosystems, while squirrels and cottontails do not play as large of roles but are subjected to the role of coyotes in their shared environment. When there are changes to the environment, such as urbanization, my research is aiming to determine the effects of such changes on predator and prey interactions. To achieve my goal, I used a subset of snapshot camera trap data, which allowed me to calculate relative abundance for my three species and examine the differences in relative abundance between years among my target taxa. For data analysis, I calculated the number of detections per 100 camera trap nights for each of my species at Snapshot USA sites in Colorado, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, and Missouri that collected data for the Snapshot project. I then used a t-test to determine whether my target taxa experienced changes in relative abundance between years. I found that relative abundance of all three of my species did not differ. And based on my results, my hypothesis that urbanization will negatively affect my three species was not supported. One potential reason for these results is possibly the study range area being too spaced out. There could be potential for my hypothesis to be supported if study areas were located in more urbanized areas. However, the sites I could choose were limited in this regard. To learn more about the ecology of my species, future research should aim to investigate the predator and prey interactions relative to urbanization levels. Research is able to determine the effects urbanization has on these trophic dynamics, which allows strategies to be enacted in order to manage the species' relative abundance. And in closing, I want to thank the Snapshot USA collaborative team for granting me access to this incredible data set, as well as my TA, Sophie King, for helping me bring my project to completion. Thank you.